probably on a no travel list. You're probably on a no fly list. I mean,
so I don't think I'm on the no fly list, but I'm definitely on some type of list because I'm on the NICS list for the FBI. And so because of that, every time I don't travel a lot anymore because I get harassed when I go to the airport. So they search my stuff. Last time I flew was when I visited my family for Thanksgiving. And when I was flying back, you know how they sometimes check your bags and they're supposed to seal it up? Well, they didn't even close my suitcase. So on the baggage carousel, like all my bras and my underwear and my hair straightener and my vitamins.
They did that on purpose.
They did that on purpose, you know, and they're harassing me. And then they're like, oh, I travel with my dogs sometimes. One of my little dogs, I have a little Yorkie poo from a Chinese meat market that I rescued. Her name is Mecca. And she travels with me sometimes because the bulldog is too big and you can't bring bulldogs on the airplane because of their noses. So I brought my dog home, and then when I was going through airport security, they're like, oh, you need to put your dog over here, and then we need to search the bag, and then wipe your hands down for explosive powder, and then they wiped my dog bag down for it too. I mean, treating me like a terrorist at the airport, patting me down, you know, feeling inside my bra. I mean, these people are like literally molesting you at the airport and violating your privacy and intentionally opening your bags. When I came back from El Salvador, where I was during January 6th, I was detained in the Miami International Airport for 2 hours by DHS, and they were grilling me like, oh, you're a political journalist. Oh, is what they say about you on your Wikipedia page true? Oh, do you plan on writing about January 6th? And they were going through all my items, looking at everything. Totally, you know, violation of my privacy.
Yeah. So why do TSA usually treat you like that? Are you're
because I'm in the NICS database, which means I'm probably in some other base too. And when I used to travel for Veritas with James O'Keefe, like one time we went overseas to Greece and we were targeted at the airport too. So I think that I'm in some type of database because, you know, it was worse though after I started getting banned, and especially after January 6th. Like, but I don't like flying anymore because that's what happens every time I fly. I get harassed or stopped by TSA in the airport.
Wow.
Like, ma'am, you need to come with us, you know.
So now you have to drive everywhere for all your
No,
travel.
I can fly if I want to. I'm not on a no-fly list, but I don't like being harassed and having my person. Last time I flew, when I saw my suitcase open and all my shit on the carousel, okay, that was it for me. I mean, I was just so pissed off. I said, unless someone dies, I'm not flying anywhere because I'm just so pissed off with what they did. I mean, really. Because
they'll do it again.
Everybody looking at my stuff out there, you know, I have personal belongings, and they just let it open, and people are looking at me like I don't know how to pack a bag, and they intentionally opened it, and you couldn't close my damn suitcase. You know?
Go braless next time.
What?
Don't bring bras. I don't know.
But I mean, I had to pick up my underwear on the baggage carousel. I mean, they're trying to embarrass people. They're trying to humiliate people. So it's ridiculous.
That's how Democrats.
What, your stuff spilled out there
because
when they left
you
your
know,
bag?
when they open a bag sometimes and they put a note, they're supposed to put a note. They didn't even put the note. They opened it, and my bag is not broken. Okay, it was a fairly new suitcase that I had just bought, and this was right after Thanksgiving this last year. And all the materials in my suitcase were on the baggage carousel. They didn't close it. So they left it open, wide open. Like, I'm not talking about a little inch for things to fall out or like a little bit open. I'm talking about wide open. You unzip the suitcase and it's open completely on the baggage carousel.
They wanted it all to fall out.
They wanted all my stuff to fall out. But all I know is that I'm the only candidate in this country that can actually say that Donald Trump not only endorsed them, but voted for them in 2020. So he physically voted for me.
Because you're in his district.
He voted for me.
She's the only candidate that got a Trump vote.
I met with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago a few months ago. I met with him, and there's a photo of it in my book here, too.
Ask him if he'll come on the podcast.
And so...
Can you reach out to President Trump and ask him if
he tweeted about me when I won my primary in 2020, saying, great going, Laura. You know, you have a great chance. And...
awesome.
You know, I helped advise his legal team on some of this tech stuff and his tech lawsuits.
Oh, it's a picture of you two?
Yeah, me and Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. So his legal team actually used my lawsuits against big tech that I had filed in the Southern District of Florida to kind of, form his own legal arguments as well. And so, you know, I've always been a supporter of President Trump. When I worked undercover at Project Veritas, my videos were used.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
My videos were used during the 2016 presidential debates between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And as James O'Keefe writes about in my book, my videos, resulted in an FEC violation against the Clinton campaign. And so my videos helped President Donald Trump get elected when I was at Project Veritas. And so he's very familiar with who I am.
He owes you one.
He owes you.
We'll see. It'd be an honor to have his, endorsement. And, I'd love to have the president's support. I've always been a supporter of President Trump.
Does he endorse every single seat available?
I don't think he does endorse every single seat. The endorsement process is, very unique. So
I don't know where I heard this, but I heard that
he just rescinded an endorsement today.
He did.
He endorsed Mo Brooks and then he took it back and said he was rescinding his endorsement. So who knows?
I heard Trump wants to interview or talk to the people
every
single person that he's going to endorse. He doesn't just endorse somebody.
Right. Yeah, no. I guess there's a process and whatnot, and so we shall see what happens. But either way, we're working hard. We're outperforming Dan Webster. I really do believe that with the support of the people, and hopefully I earn their vote on August 23rd, 2022. If you're in Lake County, Sumter County, Citrus County, parts of Hernando and Marion County, and then maybe even parts of Orange County,
that's depending
on
district.
Yeah, it's very big.
Yeah.
We're talking about 3 to 5 counties potentially, depending on how these maps fall. But
is it because
I'm
it's
win.
so rural?
Yeah, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. And I'm working hard every single day. And
you're a fighter. You haven't quit yet. All the odds are people are always coming at you, trying to stop you and block you and silence you. You're still
people,
going strong.
It's so petty, these little cliques. I mean, it's so obvious to the grassroots people who actually know my record. I mean, how are you going to come to Florida in my backyard in my district and have an America First rally and then pretend like I'm not America First, right? Or kick my petitioners or my canvassers out of your event?
Yeah. I bet that Webster guy isn't half the fighter she is.
So I don't need to be told by people who are, under investigation by the FBI right now, or people who have not, had a proven track record like I have for years and actually paid a serious price like I have for the last, 10 years of my life. Since doing conservative activism since I was 18 years old, I'm 28. I don't need these people telling me that I'm not an America First candidate, okay?
What do you think of Lindsey Graham?
Total rhino.
I hate the guy.
Total rhino.
Yeah.
You hate Lindsey. I hate Lindsey Graham too.
I can't stand the guy.
But I like Ted Cruz.
I don't like him either.
I'm not a fan. Why would you like Ted Cruz when he said that, we're a bunch of domestic terrorists?
I see. Yeah. I do take that away from him.
He said it 10 times.
But I'm a big
he said, I said it once, and Tucker's like, really? You said it here?
I'm a big fan of Ted Cruz because of that video of him cooking bacon with an AR. I thought that's the coolest thing he's
Ted
ever
Cruz
seen.
will tell you exactly what you want to hear.
Yeah.
He'll tell you what you want to hear, but he doesn't really actually, You
know what I like? You know what I like about
Really?
Ted Cruz?
Wow.
When his state freezes up and the power grid shuts off, he goes to Cancun. I like that about him.
He's like, screw these peasants. I'm taking my family to paradise.
That's the best thing about Ted Cruz.
You peasants don't have any power?
He knows,
I'm going on vacation.
He knows not to stick around.
And like radiation poisoning from working in these landmines that have the toxic battery waste from these electric vehicles, which is not recyclable material.
Not to mention,
and so it actually causes more ecological, environmental damage to have a so-called electrical vehicle because you can't actually reuse the parts for scrap and repurpose it for something else like you could with a traditional vehicle.
But the funny part is that you plug the car in and it's powered by a coal-powered power plant.
Right.
That doesn't make any
and then
sense.
all these kids in China that are getting cancer and radiation and all types of poisoning and diseases from working in these landmines, right? They're also getting lung cancer because all these power plants next to these landmines where they're having these kids go through this toxic waste are powered by coal. And so they're talking now about how all publicly traded companies in America are going to have to report their carbon emissions. Did you see this yesterday too?
What? It's ridiculous.
They're talking about how you now need to know the ecological or environmental carbon footprint of every publicly traded company in the United States. Well, what about all the publicly traded companies in China?
Yeah.
What about their footprint?
Well, while we're trying to go green, we're going to run ourselves out of business while these guys all prosper.
While we're trying to prevent ocean levels from rising a quarter of an inch, China are trying to become the #1 superpower in the world.
And while we're putting a bunch of trannies and trannies and lesbians in our military and paying for reassignment surgeries for trannies, China's literally genetically engineering super soldiers.
Yeah.
Do you know how many trannies live in China?
0.
0, dude. 0.
You know how many trannies live in Russia?
0.
I seen a headline a few months ago, of Russia developing this new generation Centurion armor for their soldiers that looks like it's something out of, I don't know, RoboCop. And meanwhile, the same day that headline came out, a headline in the U.S. came out, U.S. military to allow female soldiers to wear makeup and nails.
Really?
Yes, exactly. It's just like on the same day that Rachel Levine became a 4-star admiral, China was testing some supersonic missiles.
Does Russia let women in the military or the special forces or whatever?
Not in the infantry units.
They have Ukraine does. They were talking about that. Yeah, the
Ukraine
all the stories about like the women marching in heels and stuff.
What's your take on Ukraine? Is Putin only going in there to get all the Russians or get all the Nazis out?
No,
and get the biolabs and all that stuff?
Look, it's a multifaceted, very complex situation. But what I do find to be rather interesting, and going back to this topic of big tech, and just to reiterate this problem with big tech tyranny and how it's the biggest threat posing not just our country but nations all around the world. They have just decided, okay, that everybody has to take one position. You just asked me, what's your opinion? What's your take on it? Well, all of big tech and all of our multinational corporations have decided that you have to just be on one side, right? The team Ukraine, or you have to accept everything that they're saying about Ukraine.
Or we'll ban you.
As Ukraine is being true, or they're going to ban you and call you a propagandist. But if you actually go back and you look at former statements by the U.S. State Department and Democrats who are on the Foreign Affairs Committee, they actually tweeted, and they've deleted these tweets since then, back in 2014, 2015, prior to the United States lifting the ban on the United States funding groups like the Azov Battalion and Ukraine, which is a Nazi organization, saying, "Oh, well, we shouldn't be funding Nazi groups in Ukraine." But now they've deleted all their former statements and their press releases and their tweets, and now they have, censored all that information, and they're banning anybody who challenges it.
Yeah, anybody who says anything negative about Ukraine gets banned,
regardless of what people think. Right? It's everybody's own personal opinion. People are entitled to their own thoughts about this. People have, personal connections to, individuals who are in these countries. People have, family who may be living there. People may have business interests. Every single person is going to have their own unique perspective.
Right.
I don't think any individual is going to agree on any single issue in this world 100% to the T.
But
right?
There's
not one person on this planet who's going to have identical viewpoints on every single issue. And so why is it that we're trying to conform every single person on this planet into having the same opinions, and then they're just going to shut you down? I mean, that should really honestly frighten everybody. You shouldn't be censored or shut down just because you express an opinion. And if you say something that was factual, you shouldn't be called a Russian propagandist or a Putin puppet. And I don't like this. I don't like this idea of just canceling people and banning them and completely digitally exterminating them. Even people. I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
Do you think Hillary is going to kill COVID?
Do you think Hillary eats kids? Because you have the insights on everything. Does she eat kids?
No, dummy. She drinks blood. She drinks their blood.
So she doesn't eat them. She just drinks their blood. Have you infiltrated any of the Secret Service meetings with Hillary and them?
Well, I was undercover in the Hillary Clinton campaign when I was at Project Veritas. So yeah, my videos, I was undercover at her meetings with John Podesta and Huma Abedin, and going to all their little fundraisers where they were doing really shady things with John Podesta. So yeah, I mean, I was there.
Pizzagate.
I was undercover, and I was such a good undercover operative, such a good spy in the Hillary Clinton campaign, where I was secretly recording them.
This is nobody knew who you were back then.
Yeah, they thought that I was, my alias at the time. And I had multiple aliases because I was undercover in multiple states doing operations.
Okay.
What was the alias you used to use?
You can't talk about it?
I can't talk about it.
Okay.
I've signed an NDA with Project Veritas. I'm not allowed to disclose that information.
See.
But But I had multiple aliases in different states. And it was so funny because I remember being in a meeting one time, and it was John Podesta and Huma Abedin, and Hillary Clinton had just come to speak, and you know, they were very impressed with my volunteer activities, right? Wow. Undercover, because when I was undercover, I was trying to basically like work my way up the ranks as much as possible to get as much access and information so I could get next to Hillary. And I was next to Hillary multiple times, and I was at their fundraisers. I mean, I literally got Huma Abedin on camera at a private fundraiser talking about how Hillary was going to let in every single Syrian refugee. Wow. And that video was used by Donald Trump during the debate because the Syrian, you know, ISIS terrorist crisis, where the refugees were, you know, ISIS terrorists, that was one of the biggest issues in the 2016 race, if you recall. And so they were like, "Oh yeah, you're doing such a great job. We want to offer you a position of a field organizer for the Hillary Clinton campaign in Nevada."
Wow.
And, you know, you can't fill out federal, you know, documents or like forms like that where you're going to be paying for taxes. You can have an alias and you can have a fake identity if you're not putting it on federal paperwork. You know what I'm saying? But once you fill out like an actual tax document, that's committing a crime. So I couldn't actually accept the position because I would have to fill out actual tax forms. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, but they were actually going to hire me. Because they didn't know who I was. They thought that I was like some, you know, super worker when I was actually an undercover operative for Project Veritas.
Wow. See, she was such a good lefty. The lefties wanted to put her at the house.
They literally tried to hire me within the Hillary Clinton campaign because I was such a good spy with Project Veritas. That's how good I was at my undercover job.
Wow.
Yeah.